Hello and welcome to Yoga for Chiarians. My name is Stephanie Congo. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee with my friend Natalie, Cathey. It is awesome to have all of you join us today for this very special class. This class has been in the works. I met Natalie back in March, a number, 4, 5, 6 months ago. I received a International Yoga Alliance grant for teaching for equity. And so my subject matter was teaching yoga to people that have had or are experiencing traumatic brain injuries. And so Chiari brought Natalie to me for this TBI class. So we just finished a 12-week series, and Natalie asked me specifically to see if we could do something special for Chiari. So here we are today, and we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, give you a background of what we do, and just we're excited to bring this class to this community. And I know Natalie over here is like jumping up and down because she's so excited to have a community of other fellow Chiarians that resonate with the experience she's been having for many years. So thank you for being here. Thank you for pulling all of this together.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I am so excited. I'm sorry, I've been smiling so much all day long. My cheeks are hurting. So I started experiencing what I found out were Chiari symptoms at the age of 26, and was not diagnosed for several years later, and was discounted, told I was asymptomatic. Finally sought out a doctor who validated me and quickly had to do an emergency decompression. And but I was still experiencing some symptoms. I was told that I had to limit my exercise. I could no longer run. I could no longer do Pilates or workout, and was confined to just walking on my good days, well as maybe a recumbent bike. So I was so excited to find something that would work for me. I had to resign in October of last year because of escalated symptoms. And I have a new mission to help those with Chiari during this time. And so that's why I'm here, to help people, even if it's one yoga class at a time.
Yeah, so I've been practicing yoga for about 20 years. Back in college, I did Pilates and yoga. And as I started my engineering career, I found that just one class a week was very grounding for me and it took a lot of the stress away. So I have continued yoga ever since. About 10, 12 years ago, started doing yoga teacher trainings and training in all sorts of modalities. It's kind of like the little rabbit hole where I wanted to do more yoga, and then I was curious. I'm like, what are those meridians that the Chinese use for energy balancing? So I ended up learning some energy medicine. I've done some specialties in muscle balancing. I've worked with shamans and energy healers in Peru and Guatemala and around the world, really taking yoga trainings and learning how to teach, how to best help people. And so I have loved every path and turn of just learning more and more topics. So at this point, I am a yoga therapist, a yoga teacher. I am an energy medicine practitioner with the Eden method. I've done many more things, but also including a lot of mindfulness and present moment practices into yoga. So I had my own traumatic brain injury. I fell upside down from doing some acrobatics in the park. I fell upside down on top of my head. And so for a while there, I spent many, many months on my couch resting, and then slowly walking more and adding more and more exercise sort of over time. So I'm pretty adept with understanding people's pain, and how you have to adapt the body. And sometimes the best teacher is always yourself. So throughout these classes, I encourage you to always listen to what your body can do. If you push it a little too much, just take a break, just have a seat, find a little breathing space, bring your hands to your belly, maybe it's focusing on your feet to ground. But it's really, we're here to support you in your journey to learn new tools and techniques to help calm your nervous system, to balance the vagus nerve, help a little bit with depression, mental anxiety, and really focus on your CSF flow. There's a lot of energy medicine techniques I've been learning for a while now that Natalie's been a little guinea pig throughout the TBI 12-week series. She's telling me exactly like what feels good in her body and what she would like more of or less of. So I encourage you to do the same thing. You're always welcome to give me feedback, again, so we can continue to support you the best way. And so these classes will be a couple of different levels. Sometimes, I'll give little options. So maybe one option would be like small hands, one might be a little bit bigger hands, and one might be opening up to the ceiling and tipping your head back. Now I know a lot of you can't do that. So again, it'll be listening to which option is best for you. And I know Natalie has recently had surgery and recently talked to her neurosurgeon about specifically getting clearances to take physical exercise like this, yoga for Chiarians.
Yes, so I had my spinal surgery just a few weeks ago, so I'll be putting on my collar in just a few moments. And Dr. Cathey from Arkansas is the one who had been cleared for this yoga class. And he is a Chiari neurosurgeon, so I'm excited about this. The TBI class that I took from Stephanie couple months ago really helped me in so many different ways, mentally and physically as well. Especially because I was going through a really dark period of time, through many different changes and marital changes. So this helped a lot, helped with my flexibility, and as a Chiarian that had many different symptoms and problems, that was key for me. It helped with my lethargy. I didn't have to take as many naps, had more energy, and so it taught me a lot of tools that I can use throughout the week, that different topics that were covered that helped me grow stronger. And I can't believe my breadth of movement now. It's really astounding. So it's a lifesaver.
So I'm really been happy and excited to work with Natalie over the last number of months to just learn more about who she is and how she's dealing with Chiari, and how we all can just learn more about our bodies to have better and better days. So I encourage you to practice this class, have fun with it, do what you can. If you can't do something, it's okay. You're welcome to laugh about it. You're welcome to cry. You're welcome to just sit with yourself and focus on something that you can do. So this is a class. We'll start out with a little centering. Typically we do a little warm-ups in the chair. We might do a little standing exercises. And then always at the end of class, we come back and do a silent meditation, or Shavasana for a traditional yoga class. Shavasana is typically if you're on a mat, you're laying on your back and just blissed out and sometimes exhausted, sometimes your mind is racing, but it's always a nice way to end a yoga class. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, that's my favorite part.
Oh yes, that's oftentimes people's favorite part. But we often do it just sitting in the chair, sort of like more of a seated meditation. So I encourage you, listen to your body, go at your own pace. Have as much patience with yourself as you can. And as far as pain goes, there are different levels of pain, right? There's the pain where you touch the hot stove, like don't really want to go there. So don't push yourself. But there is a little element of like, oh, you know, if I move my shoulders over to the side, like I have a nice little stretch here. Like it's a little tight, but like it's an okay stretch and it's an okay pain. So I just encourage you to keep kind of checking in every moment, every time we do a switch. If you get a little dizzy, you know, just kind of ground your feet and notice which exercises help you feel better and which ones don't. And if you have to take a break, like I said, that is totally okay. So at this point, I think we're ready to get started. Natalie, at this point, you want to get the, okay, you got it, is going to use her collar. So if this is something that helps you out during exercise, just to help you be a little bit more stable, I encourage you to do that, so that way you're taking care of yourself. So we're just going to get situated here. If you have some water close by,
so settling into our seats and moving our arms, maybe now flowing forward and back with your arms. So if you can, you're welcome to tuck your chin and kind of round forward and back. Maybe you're just sitting tall in the chair, and Natalie, you can look at either of us, or you can make up your own movement. All right, one more time, forward and back. Oh dear, all these things. And bring your hands together at your heart space. Taking a moment to close your eyes. And notice how you're feeling today. Notice your breathing, how fast or slow your breathing is. Maybe notice the temperature of the air as you breathe in and out of your nose. And then noticing your feet. Noticing the soles of your feet, noticing maybe all 10 of your toes touching the earth, touching the floor. And then gently pushing your feet into the floor a little bit more. And allowing that to help you sit up a little bit taller. So maybe the top of your head is going up towards the ceiling, the back of your neck is getting a little bit longer. And then let's breathe in and out of our hands 3 times. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. If they're closed, open your palms out to the side. And then we're going to bring our hands to the top of the knees and start to move our torso in circles. So these could be little baby circles, just left to right on your hips, or these could be a little bit larger. So initiating this kind of from the belly area. Feeling the belly contract and roll around, and then let's switch directions. So maybe you're noticing your rib cage as it moves right to left, left to right. And then coming back to center, sitting up nice and tall again. And we're going to take the left hand and hold the side of the chair. And we're just going to start to stretch over and stretch the side body. So maybe you stay here. Maybe you're sitting up. You could even just sit up a little bit and move an inch or two to the side. Maybe your arm stays where it is, or maybe it comes up to the ceiling or even overhead. So you choose the selection of where your arm feels the best. We'll breathe here 2 more times. And then slowly come back to center. Hold the chair with both of your hands. We're going to draw the shoulder blades on the back, so squeezing. And if you don't have a chair, you can even bring your elbows behind you and hold your elbows and just kind of squeeze we're just squeezing your elbows. Sorry, elbows, shoulders, shoulder blades. So we're squeezing them and opening the front of the chest here. All right, and then release. We'll shake out the hands. And then let's do the other side. So maybe hold the right side of the chair. Again, you might just be leaning just a little bit. You might add an arm to the side, or out, or up, or even all the way over. So just checking in with which one works for you. Breathing 2 more times, feeling this stretch. And then coming back through center, we'll hold the chair again, grabbing the sides or just squeezing your shoulder blades on your back, opening the upper chest. Excellent. And then release and kind of dance out your shoulders and your arms. And then we'll bring the fingertips together. And we're just going to tap. So let me come a little bit closer here, but we're just going to tap the pinkies, tap the ring fingers, the middle fingers, the first fingers, and the thumb. So see if you can come up with your own rhythm. Maybe you just go back and forth. Maybe you tap them twice. Just noticing the sensations of your fingers and the tapping. All right, and then we're gonna pull all those fingertips apart and back together. So I like to call this kind of like my little taffy movement. So you're just pulling a taffy. I grew up on the coast of Maine, and so we could either take a boat to Boothbay Harbor or drive there, and a lot of my friends worked at the taffy shop. So this always reminds me of the taffy that they made every day in the summertime. So you can make this small, or you can make your taffy nice and long, right? And then kind of bring your hands back together. So stretching it out and bringing it together. And again, you might just keep this in front of your body, or you might bring it wide and really stretch out your fingertips as much as you can, and then bring them back together. All right, let's do this 2 more times. And hands back together at the heart space. So just noticing, again, the skin sensations, fingers and palms touching. And we're going to move into some energy tapping. So these 4 points will help to energize our systems and move our energies forward in a forward direction. So we're going to take our fingertips and just tap your cheeks. So This could be soft tapping. This just could be, you could just hold your fingers on your cheeks if that's better for you, or you can tap. So a lot of the work I do ties in with Chinese medicine. So these 4 points are connected to the meridians. So this particular one is stomach. So let's all take a nice deep breath into the nose and exhale out the mouth. Nice. And we'll bring our fingertips down to the upper chest. Just under the collarbones, about an inch away from the center. And we're going to tap the kidney, the end of the kidney meridian. So if our bodies were a computer, when you go to hit the on button, this is the on button for the body. We're bringing up fresh energy from the earth and getting it to charge and move in a forward direction. Again, if tapping doesn't work for you, you're always welcome to just hold the point or give them a little rub. So if rubbing is more your thing, you can try all of those options and see which one feels the best to you. All right, and at the end, I kind of like to hold them, and we'll do a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Great. So thymus is in the middle, just down another inch in the center. So again, you're welcome to tap, rub, hold. So the thymus is helps to boost our immune system.
That's great for Chiari.
Yeah. All right, again, maybe you'll hold this point. We'll breathe in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Great. And the last point is spleen. So spleen is over on the sides. I kind of call it halfway between the armpit and your waist on the rib cage. So you're welcome to tap. If this is too hard, you can also just tap the front point under the breast. That can be a little sore for me just because of my ribs. So you have two options here, the side or the front. So we'll just tap this. So spleen is one of the meridians that helps, it's kind of like the motherly energy. So it's always taking care of us, and it's always seeing who needs to be fed and taking care of our bodies. And then we'll hold the spleen point, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And then coming up, bringing one hand to the top of the shoulder. And we're going to add some crossing. So slide the hand over to the hip. And because we're sitting, I just end up taking this down to the knee. So opposite hand, opposite shoulder, take a breath in and out. And then exhale, we'll cross the body to the hip and off the knee. So we're just gonna keep doing this side to side. So left to right, right to left. This helps to balance both hemispheres in the brain. I do this one with kids a lot and adults too, but you can really see who kind of needs a little extra help with connecting the brain to the body movement. And as we do this, I like to kind of squeeze my leg a little bit, my thigh as I come down. It's just kind of a nice extra way to feel like I'm in my body. Can't figure, okay. And if you mess it up like I just did, I don't know what I was doing, you just start over. All right, let's do one or two more on each side. And then come down with your hands on your knees, and we're just gonna make some circles over the knees. If you have to bring your knees to you, you can do one at a time. You can put them on another chair, or you can lean forward depending on what you can do. All right, rolling circles the other direction. And then bring your hands to the top of the thighs, kind of the top of the knees. We're going to do some heel toe lift. So lifting your heels high and then lifting your toes. You can just barely see our toes in the camera. So heel toe, lift the heels, lift the toes, back and forth. This is great to keep mobility in your ankles. I never realized how important ankle mobility was, but the last number of months, for some reason, it was coming up. All right, and then now we're going to add some circles. So you're kind of on your toes for this, and we're just gonna lift the knees and kind of roll them over to the side, and then over to the other side. And then when you're ready, you can lift your heels up and roll the knees to the other side. So switch the circle rotation. Yeah, and you don't need your hands for this, but it's just kind of an extra bonus to love your knees a little bit today. All right, so coming back down, we're gonna lift up one of your legs, and maybe it's your left leg, and we're gonna roll circles with the ankle. So maybe 5 circles one direction and 5 circles the other direction. All right, and then we're gonna hold underneath the knee and just kind of let your leg dangle. So you know what it feels like, right? If I'm using my muscles to lift my leg up, but you're literally just gonna let it dangle here. So we're gonna stir the pot. So if you have a big pot of soup and you have a big spoon, you're just gonna pretend you're kind of doing that with your foot on the floor, like stirring a big pot of stew. So 5 circles one way, and then we'll switch and do 5 circles the other way. And then we'll just gently place that foot down on the floor. Let's switch and do the other side. So again, first get that little dangle going with the leg, so you're not engaging any muscles. And then you can start to kind of dangle the foot. I love doing this with the arms too, but today we'll do it with the legs apparently. All right, so 5 circles one way, 5 circles the other way. Did we skip our ankle circles? We did. So we skipped our ankle circles. So let's come back and do our 5 ankle circles in both directions. All right, and then release the foot. And let's add a little twist side to side. So for some folks, you might need to keep your chin over your heart when you turn. So that would just kind of look like this from side to side. If you want to bring your hands from your knee to your hip as you do that, this could be one option. Another option would be to start bringing your gaze to the side of the room, so to the side wall, right and left. Or if you have great mobility, you're welcome to try looking to the back wall. Maybe hold there and breathe. 1 or 2 breaths. And then come back through center. And then switch and move to the other side. So maybe you're staying a little more forward like Natalie, or maybe you're able to twist a little bit more. So again, just paying attention to what you can do today. back to center. And let's do that one more time. So twisting to your limit to the one side. Feeling your spine. Rotating all the way up, lengthening the back of your neck, maybe relaxing your shoulders, lengthening the top of the head. And then coming back to your center. Take a breath in and out. And then second side. So twisting to your comfort level. Taking a few breaths here, opening the heart, drawing the shoulders back. Taking another breath or two here. And then slowly bring yourself back to the center. All right, let's come and do just a very little bit of standing, and then we'll make our way back down to the chair. So let's come to standing. So the chair is handy for lots of things, right? We can sit and do yoga in the chair, and we can also use the chair as a prop. So we're going to turn our chairs to the side so you can kind of see us, and you're welcome to just orient your chair however you need to, so you can still kind of see the camera. And I guess I can stand on one leg today. I'm just learning all sorts of new things with my body. So today I can balance on one foot, which is amazing. So you guys are the first to see this. Awesome. So we're going to balance on one leg and just bring the other foot out to the side. So maybe if we're a count of 10 here, we've probably done 5 already. And you don't have to come too far. You can just come out a couple inches. You can even tap your foot on the floor. Let me move, my name is a little bit taken here. You can even tap your foot on the floor and come back. Or you can lift your foot just out a little bit, or you can even lift your foot up a lot. All right, so that should be about 10. So we're gonna come back and dance out the feet, just shifting your weight from one foot to the other. And then we did this sitting, but let's do this standing too, because it's pretty helpful. Okay, so right now we're just gonna move. I've got one hand on my hip and one hand on the chair. And so I'm going to do some hip circles here standing. You can also do this sitting if you want to. So finding where all these little kinks are in your torso, your hips, your legs. All right, and then other directions, maybe 5 circles this way. All right, and then come back to center. We're just gonna take a moment and find this little breathing space. So this is something you could come back to at any point in class if you're feeling a little dizzy or headache, or just you did something and it was too much for you. So you bring one hand to your belly and then bring the other hand on top of it. So we can call this breathing space. You're welcome to have your eyes closed or open. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here. Maybe feeling all 10 of your toes on the ground. Maybe breathing in and out of your belly space. All right, and then we'll release our hands and we'll move into our side stretches. So from here, we've got some options, right? So if you can lean to the side, hand on the hip, you're welcome to do that and just come back up to standing center. So here, I'm actually kind of pushing my hip out to the side a little bit. really giving the side body a good stretch. So something we don't normally do in our day-to-day life, but it's something that really helps the stability of our hips and our legs with this quadratus lumborum muscle. All right, you can also hold over to the side. And again, if you like those arm options, right, you can hand on the hip to the side, up to the ceiling, or if we got any experts or people that want to stretch a little bit more, you're welcome to lean over. So come back to whatever one works for you. Take another breath or two here. And then we'll come back up to standing. And so let's just give our hips a little bit side to side motion here. And then we'll switch and do these things on the other side. So we're going to turn our chairs just so we're still facing the camera. Did I do that? Okay. All right. So you're welcome to use the chair or not, but we were doing leg lifts to the side. So again, the first one would be just tapping your toes to the right and the left. Yes, and I'm glad you guys are figuring out some of this. You can just be doing it sitting in a chair if you need to. Or you can be lifting your foot up to the side. So I'm paying pretty good attention to my standing leg, kind of locking it, feeling that strength in it. So maybe 2 or 3 more times here. All right, and then coming back to both weight on your feet or your hips. We'll find those little hip circles, just releasing that tension. A little strength in the legs we just created, just kind of letting that release. All right, and again, let's just find our breathing space to practice that. So feeling grounded and equal in both of your feet, standing up a little bit taller. My shoulders are dropping down. Maybe your pelvis is tucking just a little bit. And my chin is always just slightly tucked. So it's not really reaching up, it's not down, just kind of neutral. We'll take another breath or two here. And then we'll release the hands and move into our side stretch with the chair. So maybe your hand is on the hip. So maybe you're just leaning over just a little bit. That's fine. That could be just enough of a stretch here. Maybe you'd like to add your arm, or maybe you like just leaning onto the chair. That's fine too. You're welcome to keep moving back and forth, or maybe you like to just hold and breathe and feel that stretch. So taking another moment, another breath or two here. And then we'll all come back and meet in the center, standing. And then let's find a little bit more mobility in the leg. So we're just gonna, kind of like we were dangling that knee, we're just gonna kind of dangle the leg and bring it forward and back. So just a nice balance, because we're balancing on one foot here. So feeling that glide, moving back and forth. All right, I'll place that foot on the ground. Take a breath in and out, so ground your feet. And then we'll lift the other leg forward and back. Again, this could be a toe tap if that grounding is helpful for you, or it could just be the glide getting that hip, that motion is lotion idea, right? All right, and bringing that foot back to ground, taking a moment to ground into both feet. Take a breath in and out. And from here, we'll make our way back to our seats, unless you're already sitting, that's fine. So we'll bring our chairs. We're gonna come a little bit closer to the camera so that we can, Natalie is like, you have to do this little head motion. It's her favorite part. So there are lots of different movements that are great to balance the brain and the body and all these different energies. So I can only teach so many in one class, but I do like this head routine. And we do try to do it in all of these classes because it's just something, it's something nice to do. So what it is, it's kind of like 3 or 4 things. So for it, you kind of have to mess up your hair. But the first one is doing a head massage. So you can also do this in the field, in the air around your head if you don't want to mess up your hair, or you can just be very careful. Or you can just mess it up. So the idea is you're just, it's kind of like washing your hair, right? So you could be making little circles, you could be rubbing, could be behind your ears, at your temples, whatever feels good on your head. You could use your nails, maybe like the pads of your fingers better. The thumbs are always kind of nice. So you can vary your pressure here. Maybe you like it really soft. For those folks that tend to think a lot, I know I'm a pretty big thinker and processor, being an engineer for a while. We're always kind of processing things and trying to figure everything out. So this can be great to have a little bit more pressure. And then maybe you find some spots where you just want to rub for a little bit. All right, so after we do that, we take our fingertips and we're going to make little circles all along the hairline, so along the forehead, behind the ears, to the back of the head. So you can just use one finger if you want, but you're literally making little circles all around the hairline. So you're going to go all the way to the back, to the nape of the neck, and then come forward. And then maybe do that one more time. All right, and then maybe you kind of smooth out the hair if you need a mess there. And then the next one is called crown pull. So for the crown pull, we're going to work on the center line, down the center of the head and down to the neck. And then we're going to do, like, if you're going to like French braid, for those of you that have longer hair, put 2 French braids in the sides of your head. We're going to do that one. So what you're going to do is take your fingertips and we'll just start at the forehead, and you're going to basically pull across the forehead and behind the ears, and then come up a little bit higher. So maybe at the upper forehead, maybe at the hairline, and we're just going to pull it down. It's nice to pull it. You can just stop here at the head, or you can kind of pull it down off the shoulders if you like that too. And then just come up through the hair, and we're going to do that same motion all the way to the back of the head. So again, maybe you're using your fingernails. Maybe you're just to have a soft touch. Maybe you're even just doing this in the air. Yeah, or if you have a partner, that's awesome too. It feels even better. If you have a friend that's willing, or maybe your mom, to do this for you. My mom is 6-7 hours away, so maybe in a couple months. Yes, but you can do it in the field for your friends, which we can get into that another time. All right, so once you do that a couple of times, just kind of shake out your hands a little bit. If you have to fix your hair, that's up to you. The last part of this is, we're gonna call the mellow mudra. So you're going to you remember the OK sign with your first finger and your thumb. You're gonna do that. And then the difference is you're actually gonna cover that first fingernail with your thumb. So I can show you a little bit better here. You're gonna do this. And then maybe your fingertips are together or apart. That part doesn't matter so much. But your thumb, you're going to bring it to the side temple. So if you're wearing glasses, it's up to you if you want to just kind of figure out your glasses or take them off. But so the thumbs will be on both sides. So if you want to have like little deer ears for a moment, and then you're going to bring your fingertips across to the forehead. So this is a nice calming exercise. If it's too much for you, if you have to put your elbows on your knees, or if you're sitting on a couch and lean back, it also over time helps to strengthen your arms. So we'll hold this for a few moments. So if you'd like, you're welcome to close your eyes or just notice what that's doing as you hold this. Maybe breathing nice and slowly in and out. And we'll maybe hold this for 30 more seconds, but if this is enough for you, you're welcome to just bring your hands to your laps and continue breathing. And then you're welcome to kind of bring your fingertips across your forehead, behind your ears. Maybe just trace behind your ears a couple times. And then we'll hold the back of the neck with the hands. Let's breathe 3 times into the back of the hands. Sorry, back of the neck, maybe the hands, or maybe in another spot. And we'll bring the hands to the top of the shoulders, breathing 3 times here. And then bringing the hands over the heart space, breathing 3 times here. Bless you. And then from here, we'll bring the hands down to the lap and we'll shift into our meditation for the close of class. So if you need a blanket or sweater, depending on the season, you're welcome to grab that, or a pillow. You're welcome to either rest your hands face down or maybe open the palms. Sometimes I'll bring my hands together with the thumbs touching. It's up to you which one feels good for today. Your eyes can be open we're closed. We'll just take a few moments, a few minutes to relax the body and let our movements and breath work integrate into the system. So bringing your awareness back to your breathing. Noticing the speed of your breathing. And then bring awareness to your seat, sitting in your chair. And then bring awareness to your feet, grounded on the floor. And maybe starting to wiggle your toes. Maybe moving your toes and heels back and forth. And then maybe start to wiggle your fingers or press down on your thighs a little bit, waking the body back up. And as you're ready, we'll bring the hands back together at the heart space. Thanking yourselves for making it to yoga practice today. Thank you all for joining Natalie and I today. We're glad you're here. So taking 3 more breaths into your hands, into your heart. And we close with a yoga saying called Namaste. Namaste means the light in me honors and respects the light in each of you. Namaste. All right, well, yeah, so I'm glad you were all here today. Does anybody have any questions about class? Hopefully we had some different options for people.
Yay, thumbs up.
So I have it, yeah, some thumbs up is what I'm seeing, so that's great.
Did anyone else get dizzy with the, okay. Yeah, I should have gotten my neck freeze. Ooh, for a minute there, I was floating away.
It's so that's one good thing Stephanie does throughout the classes you'll see is takes a minute to, if you have to take a minute to ground yourself.
And do you eventually get used to that?
Yes, I have extreme vertigo, and so through the 12 class series that I just left from her, it helped a lot with my vertigo. I still do experience it daily. I don't know about y'all. I have it at least a few times a day, especially in the afternoon after your spine head, or neck or head has compressed throughout the day. That's when I get really dizzy. So this class helps me a lot for posture, when to take a time, what to do, the building techniques to use.
Yes.
Exactly, Deborah. It'll help.
Okay. Yeah, I've been researching different yoga classes and options, and most of them are in apps. And I was looking for someone to be able to, you know, interact with right then and there, not email questions and wait. So this is wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience.
Well,
The
good.
class starts on the 1st, is it?
Yeah, we're gonna continue classes after this for those people interested. So next week, I think this time is pretty good for a number of different time zones. That's kind of why we chose it. So as we go along, I'm open to feedback. Like Natalie, sort of throughout the TBI series, kind of, you know, told me a little bit more about Chiari and how, you know, what would help her. So you're all welcome to email me with suggestions or feedback, or hey, this is working really good, or like she wants the head routine every time, and everybody else does too. I'm like, okay, well, that's easy. Like I can do that. So this class, you know, this is here for you. And so, you know, we want to support you and in your healing and, you know, getting stronger and just being able to live comfortably, right? And with more ease and have some skills that you can take away from with you.
One thing.
Yeah, Lisa.
I just wanted to comment that I'm grateful for this opportunity because many people don't understand like how this impacts your entire body every day, 24/7. And I'm grateful for like a yoga class that is sensitive to this, but I'm also grateful for the community and understanding. And so I just can't thank you enough. And I can hardly wait to be a part of this.
Me too.
Wow, thank you.
I'm tearing up. So that was my goal.
I'm tearing up too because you have no idea.
Natalie is so excited.
I'm so excited. It's hard to contain myself, y'all. You don't understand. So that's my mission. And then actually Stephanie, later on long term for next year, the next year, is thinking about doing a Chiari conference. We have big things in the works with our U.S. Organizations like Conquer Chiari and CSF. And so, and for those of you in the UK and internationally, I'll look into that as well. We're looking for a conference where we can meet and greet and share, you know, because that's so supportive. This mental support. And at the end of each class, if I'm not mistaken, we'll have a couple of minutes to share feedback. Stephanie's really awesome with that. So if someone's having a really hard time, if this particular move helps them, like she'll do things that will help with breathing. And for most of our CRNs, breathing sometimes is a problem. Swallowing sometimes is a problem. Anxiety and stress. There are all of these things that, like Lisa said, that we experience in life, all of our challenges day to day. She's going to take each topic class by class, and it's a lifesaver for me.
So yeah, we're starting to talk about different topics that would be helpful for people. I've been doing a chair yoga class on Wednesdays, which is also an option for folks. Like if, you know, this is going to be a little bit more low key and gentle, but if somebody wants something a little more normal, I don't want to say normal.
Okay.
I'm working on my good words, but like something that's, you know, a little bit, more challenging than, you know, more of a different class. So that's also an option on Wednesdays. But this one will be, you know, but so my point is that class, we tend to kind of rotate through different topics. So You know, so we're working on balance or depression or anxiety, or it could be breath work. It could be this next one. So the one we're going to start with Chiari is really the introduction, right? So I know a lot of folks have never done yoga or haven't done it in a long time, or looking for something where they can tune in and go slow enough to listen to their bodies and what's working and not. So we're open to topic ideas. They just kind of keep rolling and keep growing. So, yes.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
Is it, what's the yoga where you are actually trying to get your body into the most relaxed state? It starts with a V. I can't remember the word right now, but I've taken those classes where you're pretty much in a lay down position, and I know that's hard for some people, but have you ever offered anything like that? It really helped me with breathing and learning to like relax my body, because I feel like I'm anxious a lot, and I deal with depression too. Because I just can't do normal things or like everybody else. And so I did take a yoga class previously that was like that. Do you ever offer anything like that?
Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is more of like a restorative yoga class. Did you use blankets and bolsters and blocks? Yeah. So I'm teaching here in sort of like my front yoga room. So behind Natalie here is yeah, she wanted to show you all of my yoga props. But yeah, that's something that I do as well. So what Lisa's talking about is a restorative yoga class where we orient people in different positions, and you basically stay. Oh, you might also be talking about yin yoga. Yeah, yin. So there's restorative, which is using more props and more laying on a mat and relaxing in postures for maybe 5, 10, or 20 minutes even sometimes. And I'll have to talk to Natalie more about how that would work for this group. And then there's another yoga called yin yoga, which is, again, it's typically on a mat, but it's holding poses for like 1 to 5 minutes. And that's really based more on getting your tissues to stretch. So it's kind of restorative from that element that it's slow. And it takes a lot of patience to sit in one spot, right, for 5 minutes and breathe. But I found that to be a wonderful practice too. Yeah, so we can definitely talk about, you know, maybe we do special workshops once a month or something. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming. All right. Well, you all have my email. We'll send out the recording for folks that are in different areas of the world to check this out. So feel free to reach out. Maybe I'll copy you on the next. We'll talk about that.
Will you have recordings? So like if we're signed up and we register for is it an 8-week class, the 125? Okay.
Yeah.
If we were to have to miss one of those, can we get a recording of the class?
Yeah. So typically what I do is we'll have the live class like we are now. And then when, you know, the recording comes in through Zoom. So basically it just depends on my schedule. Like if I'm booked I usually teach kids classes in the afternoons. So just when I get that out, I'll send out the email within a day or two. And then everybody has, you know, the good thing about Monday, right? You have the whole rest of the week to do the recording. Some people will choose, you know, they'll just do the same recording every day for the week. You know, you get up at 7 or 8 and, you know, there's your little morning wake up practice. Other people will come live. Sometimes you have appointments, you have to miss one. You know, life happens sometimes too. So yeah. All right. Well, thank
So
you,
good to meet you all.
Natalie, for
At Chiari community, I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing this to us. God bless you both. Yes.
Yay. Go Chiari, Chiari strong. Okay, everybody?
Yes.
All right. Thinking about y'all.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
all right. Well,
Nice
have
to
a
meet all
great
of you.
week here
Yes,
too.
you too.
And if you'd like to register for the next classes, or you have other questions about it, just let me know. All right.
Okay. Do you have a website? Can you send that out, the link?
Yeah, it's at
to
the
your
bottom of the
page?
email, but
Okay.
it is stephaniecongo.com.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Bye, Stephanie's
You're
mom.
welcome.
I love the background.
Bye.
Thank you for the scenery. All right.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
All right. See you all next time.